So once we have the models and we have the DAOs, we can start writing a service, right? Or writing the controller. So I'm going to skip the service for the quiz attempts, right? Only because we had the services for the quizzes and the questions, and I'm not, if you feel strongly about it, perhaps you might want to follow the same pattern and create the service. But I'm going to skip over it. So instead, I'm going to go directly to the controller. So what the controller is going to do is going to it's going to expose these two endpoints, these two use cases, right? Submitting a quiz and finding all the quiz attempts for a quiz, right? So this submitting a quiz is going to be an insert into the database, right? So we're going to use a post for that, right? Also because in the post, I'm going to be able to pass an array of all the questions across the from the client. Now the find is a read-only operation, so we're going to use a get to expose that. So here is a suggestion of what the controller might look like. Right, here's a post to submit the quiz, and here's the get to retrieve all the attempts for a given quiz. Okay, so I'm gonna create this file. This is the controller. Where's the controller? So in controllers, there it is. I'll create that JavaScript. And so in there, I'm just going to copy this implementation. Now, this is slightly different from what we call these things. I think I call this submit quiz. Okay, and instead for this DAO, I think I called it find all quiz attempts, something like that. Okay, so whatever you called it, make sure that it matches. So what these endpoints are doing is that this one is waiting for a post that for a URL that looks quizzes, the ID of the quiz, and the attempts, and then has the ID right, embedded in the URL. We're going to parse that. That's the ID of the quiz, and then the actual submission right that includes the array of all the attempts is in the body. Right, so I'm going to pass that in. And then when it comes back, once it's inserted in the database, I'm just going to return it to the client. For retrieving the attempts, I notice the URL is identical, but instead of a post, it's a get. Right? And we're going to use the DAO find all quiz attempts for quiz ID, which basically is going to do a find by ID for the attempt. Right? I believe we implemented that. Yeah, right? We're retrieving that attempt by ID. Find, oh yeah, quiz, right? Because quiz is a field in the schema, right? Yep. And finally, I'm going to return the attempt, right, from this read operation. Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to head over to the client and start testing these endpoints.